The Cupra Formentor is the very first car of Seat's new performance brand Cupra, which they built and developed on their own. It is a so-called crossover SUV, and of course it looks very, very sporty. Yes, it is a Cupra. But how it drives, what about the powertrain, the space, the comfort, and of course the driver assistance and safety systems? Let's find out now. The Formentor features loads and loads of driver assistance and safety systems. Here you're going to find a list of what is always on board. And to give you some examples, for instance, the car features an adaptive cruise control, an active lane assist, a rear view camera, and so on and so on. And I think you can only order 2 optional extras regarding to the assistance systems. The Formentor is 1.84 m in width, and as I think when you look at the front of the car, it really looks very solidly on the road. One reason for that is this quite flat and very long hood with this power domes. Another thing, of course, is this massive glossy black grille with the Cupra logo and the very thin, narrow and very sharp signed headlamps at both sides of this grille. By the way, these headlamps, they always come as standard in full LED. Another important thing for the look at the face of the car is the front bumper with these aero elements, which not only look nice, they also make the car drive even better. And then you find these air intakes here at the side. They put the pressure at the front to the side of the car, make the car look really solidly on the road. And on the other hand, they're important because they are the air intakes to cool your brakes. The Cupra Formentor costs from €43,950 onwards, and that's not cheap money, but the car not only comes very well equipped regarding to power, it also comes very well equipped regarding to everything it has on board. Here you find a list what is on board, and only the highlights will be in that list. But I give you some examples. You will find the bucket seats, you will find the sports steering wheel, you will have the digital cockpit 12-inch touchscreen, you will have the ambient light, you will have a heated steering wheel, and so on and so on and so on. And I think, of course, you can put some stuff on top. For instance, if you want leather interior, that costs you about €1,500. If you want the big sunroof, that's about €1,300. And there are some minor bits and pieces, but that really is it.
€44,000 doesn't sound like little money, but if you look what you have to pay for compact SUVs from other manufacturers with similar performance, the amount sounds more interesting. The new Volkswagen Tiguan R with its 320 horsepower should start at just under €60,000. And the 306 horsepower BMW X2 M35i is available from around €54,000, but with plenty of room for extras.
The Formentor always comes with 19-inch alloy wheels, but our car is featuring the dual color version with black and copper, and that one costs you in Germany about €300 extra. When you look at the car overall, it's 4.45 m in length, and that's a little bit less than a Cupra Ateca, but it's only 1.51 m in height, and that's about 10 centimeters less than the Cupra Ateca, and that really gives the car a lot more sporty proportions. When we look and talk about the design of the car, we do have nothing very important here at the front part, but at the rear you see this really massive line over the wheel arch at the rear, and you do see the window graphic from the bottom. It goes up here and the roof line drops here, and that gives the car a push to the front and makes the car look even more sporty. By the way, a detail which I really like a lot are these rear view mirrors. Not only that they are grey and shiny, they also have this indicator, which I really do like a lot. I've never seen anything like it before in a different car. And then to give the car a bit of this rough look of an SUV, you find this glossy black roof rails. You do of course find these wheel arch claddings and the claddings at the side of the car, just to remind you this is a crossover SUV. Inside of the Formentor, the colors black, grey and copper are dominating. And we talk about the materials. You do find soft touch here at the upper parts on the dashboard as well. If you go a bit lower here at the front of the dashboard, you find something that looks a bit like wood. And then you have glossy grey here or glossy black here around the infotainment. And then of course you do find copper everywhere. So it's here at the air outtakes, which are very nicely three-dimensional. You will of course find loads of it at the steering wheel, for instance the Cupra logo. We have these extra instruments down here with the circles. We have these small bars here, and of course you do find copper stitching everywhere inside of that car. Even a tall person like me is sitting very comfortably in the front seats of the Formentor. They come as standard as bucket seats with integrated headrests. And I can tell you they offer loads and loads of support, and they are still comfortable. When we talk about space, I can tell you I sit perfectly here. I have loads of space above me. I can adjust the steering wheel the way I want, and I can really say this is a comfortable place to sit in even for a long while. And how about the space behind me? We're going to find out while having a short stop. So that is my short stop to see if I can sit behind me in the Cupra Formentor. The car features a wheelbase of 2.68 m, so that should be sufficient. Let's see. So getting in is quite easy. And as you see, I do have space in front of my knees. I do have about that amount of space above my head. And I think for a compact SUV, that's more than sufficient. If you're looking for standard round instruments inside of the Formentor, you will not find any. And the same is if you're looking for buttons and knobs. That car is featuring as standard a 10.25-inch full digital cockpit. And this not only provides you with different view types, like the Formentor type with a big ref meter in the middle, it also provides you with the opportunity to adjust it the way you want. So you can, the side left and right, adjust with different information, like I have the G meter on the right hand side and left hand side I have the power information, but I can also choose stuff like actual consumption overall range and all that stuff. So it's completely something that completely can individualize the way you want. When we talk about the infotainment, that comes as standard with a 12-inch touchscreen. And this really is the center control of the whole Cupra. You can work here with your climate control, you can work with your sat-nav and all the other stuff. And the important thing is you can configure it the way you want. So you may remember we did it with a Cupra Leon. So you can choose how your home screen should look like. You will of course find live data like traffic information, like information about petrol prices and all that stuff. When we talk about buttons and knobs, as said, nothing in the car. Below the infotainment, you do find slider and touch sensors. And when you look at the light panel left under the steering, this is similar to the one that we already know from the Volkswagen Golf, which is also only sensors. At the rear of our Cupra Formentor, you can really see how sporty that car is. One good example are these massive shoulders, which really puts the car very solidly on the road. Then you do find this massive rooftop spoiler and this very narrow black window at the rear of the car. The Formentor always comes with LED taillights and with this light band between the two taillights. And that is the reason why the car looks even wider than it is in reality. On top of this, you do find the Cupra logo and the signature of Cupra to tell the guys you just overtake what car did this to them. And to make the car even more sporty, we have this glossy black diffuser here at the rear of the car and 4 massive pipes. There's one real highlight inside of the car, which is the sport steering wheel. And this not only features the buttons and knobs we already know from the new Seat Leon, it also features 2 extra buttons down here. One is to start and stop the engine, which is quite nice because normally that's in the center console. And the other one is the Cupra button. And with this one, you can switch the drive profiles from comfort to sport or to individual. But if you press the button longer, you instantly jump into the Cupra mode. And then the car really is a beast. If you want to connect your mobile device inside of the car, there are 2 USB-C sockets in the front and 2 at the rear. But if you don't want to use any cables, you can buy for 220 euros the so-called connectivity box, which provides you with wireless charging. And if you put another 200 on top, you will get Apple CarPlay Wireless and Android Auto as well. There will be 9 different powertrains available for the Cupra Formentor, and that'll be diesel as well as petrol, as well as hybrid or plug-in hybrids. And I do not have the numbers of all of them already, but there will be a plug-in hybrid with a combination out of 150 horsepower petrol engine combined with a 85 kilowatt electric motor. And then there will be an entrance model which will have 150 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder petrol engine, and I think this will be the 1.5 liter you may already know from other Volkswagen models. And on top of this, there is the car we're driving, which is the top version, 310 horsepower, 400 newton meters of maximum torque out of a 4-cylinder 2-liter turbo petrol engine, and that gives the car some nice figures like top speed limited at 250 kilometers per hour and the acceleration 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 4.9 seconds. Talking about practicability, the Formentor offers standard compartments in the doors at the front, driver and passenger side as well. And then you do find the center console, because we do now have a shift-by-wire system, no longer a big gear shift knob. So that means we do find a slightly bigger compartment to the right of the shift-by-wire system and a smaller one at the left-hand side, and then you do find 2 cup holders here and an adjustable armrest. And at the very front you do find 2 USB-C ports, and there are another two at the rear of this center console. And you do find quite large compartment, which also is the place where you can put the optional wireless charging for your mobile devices. The Cupra Formentor offers a maximum boot size of 450 liters, but that's not for our car because this is the 4-wheel drive version. This is the figure for the front-wheel powered cars. Our car with a 320 horsepower petrol engine only offers 420 liters of maximum boot capacity. And then there is the plug-in hybrid, which will arrive a bit later. That then only offers 345 because the battery must be placed somewhere. While we're standing here at the rear of the car, just some figures regarding towing. So if you want to tow something with the car, you can of course have the towing hook. That costs you about 320 euros. And then our car is allowed to tow as a maximum 1.8 tons.
With the rear seats folded down, the Cupra Formentor offers a maximum load volume of up to 1,475 liters. The Volkswagen Tiguan R can take about 200 liters more with a maximum of 1,655 liters. A BMW X2 M35i offers up to 1,355 liters and so about 100 liters less than the Cupra.
The 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine inside of the Formentor really makes a great job. It delivers 228 kilowatts or 310 horsepower, 400 newton meters of torque, and that is combined with a 7-speed DSG gearbox and pushes the power to all 4 wheels. And with that, you can really have great fun driving the car sporty, do cornering, but on the other hand, you can also drive the car quite easy and just enjoy the countryside. And by the way, that provides the car with quite some nice numbers because the top speed is reached at 250 kilometers an hour, and it accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, 60 miles per hour in only 4.9 seconds. But if you say that's not enough for me, you may have to wait a bit more, because I heard some rumors that there will be a bigger engine which then has 5 cylinders, and I would expect this is the Audi one. You may know it already from the RS3, and that then should offer 400 horsepower. There will be up to 9 different powertrains available for the Formentor, and to give you an idea which one are the big ones and which ones are the less powerful ones, the big ones will then be named Formentor VZ, because VZ is the short version of Veloz, and that's the Spanish word for quick. That was my test drive with the new Cupra Formentor, and I have to say I still really like the exterior design, and when you look inside of the car, it's an absolute beauty, I think. You find glossy black, glossy grey, leather, soft touch, and all that copper. So it really looks as a Cupra should look like. And then bucket seats as standard, 12-inch touchscreen, loads of driver assistance and safety systems, all perfect. And then the drive, 310 horsepower, 4-wheel drive. And it's a real pleasure because the steering and suspension works perfectly in the car. So I really don't have to say anything negative about it. And when you look at the pricing, less than 44,000 euros for the base model, which is fully equipped, and that's even less than the Cupra Ateca costs.